Katie was probably one of the first people I met on LinkedIn. She was doing videos, I was doing videos. We ended up in a pod, which probably 2 pods, 3 pods, 4 pods, I don't know. You're not supposed to talk about it, right? It's first real pod. Don't talk about pods. And now don't be in pods, you're in Len pods, which I got out of all pods. So Katie, I want to thank you for coming tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Katie, and I tell her this all the time, Katie is a total badass. But Katie is someone who escaped to a life of freedom as it meant for you. You built your own company, and love what you want to talk about more of that. But the first question I ask everyone is, what does the word freedom mean to you?
Holy crap. I should have known that this was coming because you literally just said it. Okay, so, what freedom means to me. I think freedom for me is just the ability for me to be fully present, which also means that I am living true to myself, because if I'm not living true to myself, then I can't be fully present in situations because I'm thinking about all the messes that I've created. So I think that's what freedom means to me.
Cool, awesome. So tell us about Hux Sustainables, your baby, your company, right? And you were not working at Hux Sustainables, probably not even when we first met. You had a separate company that was maybe a different name. I can't remember, but
it's the same.
Is it the same? Right,
but I was like making $0.00.
Okay,
so.
got it. So tell us about Hux Sustainables. You have something called the Sustainability League. It's pretty cool. Tell us about it.
Okay, so Hux Sustainables, and just now when I was telling you what freedom meant, I felt like Miss America. Like I was answering. Well, what freedom means to me, Curt? Okay.
There's a talent competition later.
Oh, great. Oh, me and Sherry are ready for that. So Hux Sustainables, essentially right now we're a consulting company, and we work with companies to help them reduce their impact or have a greater impact socially. We've been doing a lot as far as, I'll just say, diverting waste, recycling, composting here, kind of basic stuff, but we can find more complex solutions. But we've been doing a lot of marketing, digital marketing for impact-driven companies as well, helping them tell their stories. Sustainable League is actually now a podcast, and you started right. Freedom League. We started at the same time,
right, yeah.
and I was like, man, he's gonna think I'm copying him, but I swear it was an original idea that I had, that you had too.
You totally were not copying me.
Totally was not. I'm pretty sure my video came out the same way. So that's what it's a podcast, and we kind of just talk about different ways that people can reduce their impact and kind of making light of how the ominous future that everyone talks about, and the world's gonna burn. So we're trying to make light of that, although it is scary.
So you started your own company, and even I talk to people who are making 7 figures, and they're afraid to make a jump anywhere. Not even their own company. They're afraid to do anything. They're playing defense all the time instead of going on offense in their lives. You are someone, you weren't making $1 million, and you said, screw it, I'm going for it. Tell us that decision. What were you doing before, and what was the final impetus to say, screw this, I'm jumping ship? And I'm jumping in, not just jumping ship, but jumping into what you're doing now.
Yeah. So I started Hux Sustainables in 2016, actually the end of 2016, and had a failed venture that I was able to walk away from, and ended up going back to a corporate. And in the interview, I was like, I'm giving you a year. I will be here for a year, because they really needed me. Like how much they paid me showed me how badly they needed me. And so I was like, I'm here for a year, but I'm going to work on my company, because I already knew that I didn't want to be there. Because I think a lot of people, and this is exactly what I did, I stayed in this job for, it was 8.5 years, and I was just waiting for somebody to come rescue me. Like, someone's gonna figure out how amazing I am, and they're gonna come in here and they're gonna pluck me from my life of being a retail manager, and I'm gonna go on and do this thing. And so I kept waiting, and then 8+ years later, nothing changed. And so I just left. I knew there was more than that, but I knew I had to leave, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people wait for something to happen, and they have hope, and hope is great, but without massive action, and massive action for you may be a small action for me, and vice versa, but sometimes any action is massive action.
Anything.
So, what sustainability, right? You and I have joked about this before, and I love the SUVs. I'm not, when my friends know me, they don't think of Curt as a sustainability guy, right? And I make jokes. I have the joke that if you want to frack in my front yard, just make it nice and put up a park bench. So, but that being said, I'm kidding. So, but when you meet with companies, right, And you talk about green and being sustainable. It's not just about that. And let's say you come up with a CEO who doesn't care about the environment, right? He can save a lot of money doing this too, right?
Yeah.
You're going to throw something at me. I was just
No,
kidding.
no. Did I look mean? Because that's just how my face looks. I'm like, what did you say? So I don't even go for them. I go for the people who are already interested in building a more sustainable world, or they already have some sustainable aspect to their company, and I just want to go and help elevate them and get them in front of more people. Like, that's the sole mission to grow impact-driven companies, essentially. So if you don't care about sustainability, that's fine. Like, that's cool. I mean, the world's going to burn with or without you, so, you know.
It's interesting that, I grew up in Illinois, landlocked, never really thought much about it, and now we live on a marsh. And when you live on a waterway that flows, the amount of crap that you see in the back, and when your kids are swimming in it.
Oh, gosh.
And then you open the paper, and the news says, yeah, don't eat any seafood or oysters from Edisto to the harbor, because there was 2 tons of sewage that leaked. And we don't know when it leaked, but don't do it for like 2 months. And you're like, well, you didn't know when it leaked.
Oh, gosh.
And I've been eating it, and the kids have been playing in it and drinking it. You get a new
You're going to have real superhero kids.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah. They're going to be like roaches. Like when the nukes hit, they're going to be the ones who survive. So yeah,
horrible.
that's part of our homeschooling curriculum. We just toughen them up that way. Go swim in the marsh.
Brilliant.
Toughen up. So, but you get a when you start dealing with it, you get a new appreciation for that type of stuff, because it's disgusting. I mean, I want to go out and shoot someone in the kneecap sometimes, because the stuff you see that we live, there's an overpass, and I think stuff flies out of pickup trucks and just floats in it.
People will throw it out. I still see people throwing trash out of their car. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's 2019 and we haven't cut that out yet.
Yeah, right. It makes no sense. So, you're a CEO, whether you want to believe it or not, right? The average CEO reads 60 books a year. Do you read a lot of books, and what are you reading right now?
Oh gosh. I do. I actually read a shit ton of books, but I listen to more podcasts than I do books. I probably listen to 2 podcasts a day, just at the gym and then in my commute and stuff like that. So, but the current book that I am reading is, well, I'm in between 3 books usually at all times. So I went back and I'm reading Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. Is that what it is? Yeah. Are y'all familiar with that? The Power of Now? Okay, cool. So
A lot of nods, head nods.
So this is my 3rd time reading it. I felt like I needed to read it because I've kind of just been in a funk lately. So that one, Aubrey Marcus, Own the Day. And then the 3rd one, I can't remember, but it's so good. And Robert Greene. Robert, are you familiar with him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I can't remember the name of the book, but you need to read it. So
Is it the new one?
just keep naming books. Come on, like his books. Nope. I think it's I don't know. Robert Greene. Anything by him is solid though.
The autobiography of Robert Greene.
Sure. No.
I think not the Art of War, but it was.
It's not that one. That's a really good one too. Yeah.
So you made the jump. You decided to make the jump. You said, "Screw it, I'm doing it." There are people in this audience, or there are people listening to when we air this, and they're in that comfort zone of misery where they can't even get off the couch, where they're paralyzed to do it. They have had this idea for a side hustle and a business forever, and they just don't want to rock the boat. They don't even want to verbalize it because they've grown up in such a permission-based society that even verbalizing what they want their lifestyle to look like is completely impossible to them. You did it. You made the change. What do you tell someone like that?
I never know. I can only say what happened for me.
Sure.
And I think a huge thing for me was just traveling and getting out and kind of seeing everything. But I also have to mention that I left and I did have a very nice safety net because I had worked, 8-9 years and was just saving for some rainy day, which I'm realizing now is my entrepreneur fund. So when it was really difficult, that's what I was living off of. So I always have a plan. Don't just free fall, because that's what I did for a while, and I didn't care. I just traveled and did whatever felt good to me, and I think that's how I found my way, is because I gave myself enough space and enough runway to be able to do that. So for anybody who's in that, because I can still get in that mentality where I don't want to get off the couch and I'm just paralyzed by everything that I have to face. But I think if you just whatever, pick one small micro action that you can do. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever is you making an effort, and do that. And do that for a month or a couple weeks, and then start adding something else in. If it's the gym, because the gym, that's what I always love about it and why I continue to work out. Even though it doesn't look like a workout, I go to the gym every single day. But it's because I've trained, it's miserable, it sucks, it's not fun, it doesn't feel good. But once I go and put myself through that, I'm like, I just put myself through something that I actually hate, but I kind of love at the same time now. And I feel like if you can do, it's kind of training yourself to do the things that you don't necessarily like to do, but you love doing them. That doesn't make any sense. That's probably really esoteric, but sorry.
No, that's fine.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And by the way, speaking of workouts, Jake, are you ready?
What's happening?
Not now, not right now, but I meant tonight. So Jake's got I have a Facebook community, many of you are a member of it. It's free, called the Freedom Club Community. And as part of Alignment and Work Family Self, I put forth some fitness goals, mine and some other people. Sam Ellingwood wants to dunk a basketball by 40. He's lost like 150 pounds in the last year.
That's incredible.
So Jake, well actually, Kyle, we don't have the bars here. Kyle wants to do a muscle up, which I looked up and I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. Jake wants to do a planche push-up. And so
can you come demonstrate for us?
Well, yeah, that's what I said. He's going to do it tonight. So we'll do it on one of the breaks. Jake's
Gotcha.
going to come up and do it with me on your back. That was the deal, right? Yeah. So we've talked about your work, and as we talked about before, yeah.
Really badass.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about work, and work and life are not separate. There's just life. But we've talked about the work facet, family and self. You travel all the time, and or maybe it seems like all the time, but you're on Instagram, it's like, where the hell is she going? It's here, you're in Spain, California, you're in the mountains and everything. Tell us about family and self, Katie, and how, when I travel, people say, oh, it must be nice, you must have a ton of money and whatever. How do you prioritize and make it a priority to travel and do what you want to do and explore with your family?
I think it's easier when you've lived a life that was dictated by everyone else around you, and you know that's not what you want anymore because you've seen what that does to you on the inside, and it's miserable. And so a couple years ago, and it's been a progression, and it's still a progression, I think it always will be, where I started living truer to myself and doing what feels good for me, because I had a constant stream of negativity where I was like, I'm a shitty mom, I'm a shitty wife, I'm a shitty employee, I'm a shitty this, whatever. But it was all because I was trying to live up to everyone else's standards versus just being me. And so for me, travel has always been a priority. That's honestly the only thing I spend money on. So people are like, how do you have money to do it? It's like, well, look at what you're spending money on. You have a $200 spend class thing that you do. You have this, and you eat out every single day, 5 times a day. I don't do those things, and I use my money to travel. And it's really important for me to let Lily, my daughter, who's 6, travel, because that significantly shaped it gave me a more worldly view, and I think it helps keep you out of your head and keep you outside of yourself and keep you out here where the work is to be done. I mean, there's work to be done in here as well, but when you're kind of squirrely, it's better just to be out here helping other people.
Got it. No, thank you for that. And I hear a lot of gratitude in what you're talking about. Gratitude probably produced from a lifestyle you used to have, and now you don't, and now you have some freedom. A lot of people, I find, can use gratitude as an excuse not to want more. Well, I have it better than most people. And if you're in the United States, even if you're United States poor, you have it better than the great majority of the world. So a lot of people could use that as an excuse. A lot of people could say, well, I have it better, I'm just not going to want more. I'm just not going to go for more. How do you pair gratitude with a sense of achievement?
I hate that mentality. Oh, well, just comparing anything to anybody else's life and kind of feeling bad because you were born here as opposed to somewhere else. That seems really silly, especially when you could do something about it. You could build a business that you're able to help all these people that you're sitting around feeling sorry. Why can't you have success to help other people? And so I kind of had that same mindset when I would see somebody in a really nice car, a Ferrari. I'd be like, oh, he's so flashy, so gross. We get it, you have money. But now I understand that these people work really hard, and that's how they have money. And so why shouldn't they have something to show for it, especially if they're doing, other good stuff out in the world? And it's probably totally not what you asked, but
no, it is.
But just having that, I'm just gonna, if that answers it, then we're done there.
No, it totally answers it. 100%. Because there's people who, my wife and I have this discussion. Must be nice, must be lucky. I posted a video about the fact that I only work 12 hours a week and that I was at the beach, and the comments were, oh, you must have married into money, which I immediately went to my wife and said, were you hiding it? Or, you inherited your money, whatever it is, he's lying, et cetera, et cetera. And it's the scarcity mindset on display, where there's not enough to go around, and if he or she is successful, that means they've taken away my piece of the pie, and so I can't have that. And I find that people who talk about that trap themselves, and they set such low expectations for themselves and those around them, but then they use gratitude as almost as an excuse. You should just be happy with what you have. And you put it well, it's not about the money. If someone wants to have a Ferrari, they can have a Ferrari, but you don't know, that person might also be changing the world in ways we don't even know. So your answer was totally on target.
Yay. I got one. Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to pass this test.
So Katie, whether people are listening or people are in the audience, although a lot of people here know you and know where to find you, they want to learn more about you, they want to learn more about Hux Sustainables. Where's the best place for them to go? The one-stop shop or the two-stop shop?
LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn.
Are you on LinkedIn?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm trying it out, seeing how it's going.
Cool. Well, we'll link to your LinkedIn profile in the show notes, in the videos, whatever videos we do. I want to thank you so much for being here. Please, everyone, give Katie Wallace a round of applause.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.